Hi Aries, this is your 2023 yearly astrological wheel tarot reading. I've already shuffled all of the decks and placed the cards. I didn't want to take up time on video doing that, but they're all flipped over, so it's going to be here, see as we go. Okay, I did flip over your animal oracle cards, and we have 3. Seems like this year you will be finding some self-confidence in your understanding of yourself on a more deeper level. Maybe there have been some questions about what you're meant to do in this world or what your purpose is. I feel that you will be getting courageous about how you express yourself in some way. Maybe there's been something that you've kept to yourself that you haven't wanted to pursue for fear of what other people might do or say. But this year will be that year that you break through that. You'll be working through things internally, and because you'll be doing that, you'll be becoming more confident in knowing that this is the way you should go, or this is the route you should take. What feels good to you is going to be resonating as your purpose, or part of your purpose in this world, in this lifetime, or just even in this year. This is the kind of theme that's surrounding your 2023. So how you're looking in this year. You're looking like the rebel a little bit this year. I feel like maybe there was some kind of, you're ending doing something to your physical person. Maybe you've had an ending with something that you could be like giving up drinking, as an example. There could have been Give me 1 second, please. There's a lot about visionary here. So in terms of the way you look, or how you're presenting yourself to the world, or the world seeing you at this time, is that you have a new vision. You might be actually getting some glasses for the first time this year. Wishful thinking might end because you take action on something in regards to your physical person. there could be also some sort of a cutting away. So if you gained weight in 2022, you might be losing a lot of weight, and people are noticing that. Yeah, I'm seeing rebel because Uranus is your influence. It's also the, the planet of innovation. So you might be totally reinventing yourself this year coming up. And your friends and your coworkers might be a little bit kind of in awe of that, but it seems to suit you well and you feel good about it. Some kind of all of a sudden manifestation, some kind of wish suddenly comes true in terms of your physical person. So it could be that you're just presenting yourself in a more genuine fashion. You're finding what works for you and cutting out what doesn't work for you. And anything that's been kind of like a pain in your backside, you're removing. You're getting, so if you've been planning on having any cosmetic surgery, any kind of procedure done that would benefit your physical form, how you're seen by others in the world, or how how you come off in the world, I see that here. You might be very fast paced, going for what you want. So the 9 to the 10, there's progression in something, and then the 10 again. So things might have been good for a while and now they're changing, and so this might be also reflecting how you're physically coming off to the world. I'm going to move on just so that I can get through, but I'll come back if anything comes up. What you're valuing. Seems like this year you're going to be valuing your intuition a little more. You're going to be trusting it more. Because I have here a secret seance, and I also have the moon. The moon represents the subconscious mind, intuition. It also is the ruler of the 4th house, which is the house of home and family. So you might be very much involved in some kind of spooky stuff this year, or you might be getting into mysteries, conspiracy theories, hauntings. You may feel also like you're very guided with your finances by the spiritual world. Like there's some sort of hunch you get from something that's external to you, or at least you feel is external to you. And you're having good luck with this. You might be doing like Bitcoin, or kind of, playing the lottery, which is the 5th house. We're not there yet, but there is some sort of lucky break in terms of your intuition, and this also has to do with communication from the other side. It also has to do with memories. So it's our dream world. Then we have the Judgment card. The Judgment card is kind of a tough card in the tarot. It's about rising to the occasion in terms of our understanding of our purpose, of what's right for us, of what we're being called to do by spirit. It's a spiritual awakening in some sort here. Then we have the Page, which is also communication, and feeling a little bit nuance in that style of communication. Financially, you could or at least in terms of what you're valuing, you could be valuing your spiritual awakening that you're going through this year. And it might be kind of anchoring itself in, and it almost could be some sort of communications about career having to do with the spirit world, or do with your intuition. You could be getting just very moved to make certain moves in your life, or be called to you're seeing the potential of something. So maybe it's this, you were a skeptic and now you're starting to see something differently. And this, in your physical area, what you're bringing to the plate in terms of yourself and how you look, you seem almost sharper to other people in terms of looks, in terms of your mental agility. And also, you'll be using whatever pain that you've gone through, either physical in your body or mentally, to kind of thrust yourself forward into taking action on your life. So if this was about career, I do see some sort of quitting of a job in order to be more true to who you are and fit in where you belong. All right, in your communications sector, Aries, in your short trips, how you think and who and what is around you in your day to day, how the concepts that you're coming up with, and your siblings. We have the card of the Sylphs. So there's some sort of deep change. So if you had a problem with a sibling, I see that getting intimate about that now, or revisiting that. There's some kind of rebirth in terms of how you're communicating with someone in your life, in your day-to-day life. There could be also just like a rebirth of great change. There's just great change, and it's impacting how you even talk or think to other people. That's another reason why you might be being seen differently. You'll be up for a good debate. It doesn't look like you almost might be coming off a little bit too aggressive and a little bit too nuclear about how you approach certain matters. There's a passion behind you. It's as if you're being fired up, but also there's a peacefulness as well here. So you may be squashing things with a sibling. You might be squashing things with a neighbor. But you also might be coming across as driven to kind of level it. It's very, it's intimate and yet explosive at the same time. So you might be getting really deep in conversation with people this year, and you might be getting very passionately explosive as well. So you just be careful about where you're taking that. How, it can be really great to get deep and really get to the core of stuff and talk about things that most people are afraid to talk about. But you also might be kind of an advocate for the underdog in a sense, where if you see something, it's like a vigilante kind of dark, like hero kind of thing. So if you see somebody getting bothered by somebody else, that's someone's not treating someone well in your day-to-day life, you're going to stick up, and it might come off really like, whoa. I also see that travel could be involved here, because I have the Chariot, I have the World, and I have the crossroads of the path of the Lenormand. You could be restoring a car that a sibling gave to you. That's another idea that's coming through. Some big thing is going to change because you've willed it to do so. You'll be coming to the completion of something. The car could break down as well, and so you complete the cycle of having that particular vehicle and decide to take a different route or go and choose a different vehicle. So that's another thing. Because Pluto is also death. It's where things go to be rid. It's the waste. So there could be a peaceful acceptance of some kind of ending to the way things have been in terms of your communications and your traveling and what you're thinking about. And there's this like almost leveling of the situation and like a rebirth and completing a cycle as well. So it's also do or die. So it's street racing also comes to mind too with this combination. Important changes. Could be important changes in a sibling's life as well, in terms of them traveling or them completing some long journey of some kind. All right, I'm going on to the 4th house. The Hanged Man in reverse. I don't want to flip that. In the home and family sector, in your childhood upbringing, the support you feel, what makes you feel secure. There's some sort of pain that you've been kind of keeping private. It can have to do with an authority figure at home, or a friend. Maybe you've been trying to get someone's attention and it's been unreciprocated, unrequited. Near your home. Or maybe it's you've been trying to there's some sort of emotional pain that is limiting how you express yourself or how you communicate in terms of love within the most private kind of security, personal part of your chart. And it seems like, just like with the Judgment card in your 2nd house, that awakening, you're being awoke to taking action after a time of feeling repressed or stuck. Maybe you were bummed that you couldn't go on some sort of journey or adventure, and because you had responsibilities, maybe you had a secret attraction to somebody, whether it be a roommate or it seems like you're being restricted by your own emotions, really. But Saturn being here, there's that limitation. There's that inability to express how we're feeling about something. There's rules and kind of regulations and responsibilities. But it seems like there's this offer. Maybe you're sad about not being able to see someone in your family because they've gone away. And you're like almost want to go with them, or there's something here that's like, it could be romantic. It's a passionate secret or a clandestine affair. If your parents have had issues of any kind, that could be what's coming up here. If there's been trouble at home, but I see it ending on a freeing up. So maybe some rules are being kind of lessened in some regard in order as how you can do and act on the things you love without feeling like tied up in some sort of way. It's like realizing that you love somebody and finally not wanting to keep it a secret anymore just because other people in the family might not agree with it. This is a new beginning that's very, could be passionate, could be secretive. It could be a new book that you love to read about freeing yourself from the emotional baggage of your childhood as well. Very interesting. Fifth house. You'll be keeping very private, though, at home. It'll be a very private year at home. You might start some new thing that you love doing at home. You might have more friends that aren't as tied up this year that can come over and visit, like little quaint get-togethers. It seems like the restrictions, I would hope that there wouldn't be any more restrictions about being stuck at home. But it seems like there's, what was restricted is now kind of lessening or easing up with something. I don't know. Fifth house. It is so cold, by the way. Ooh, it dropped like 30, 40 degrees. The other day I was like, it's so warm. Not anymore. So, snake skin. Then we have Jupiter. Ooh, that's a good house to have it in. You might also be going back. See, this is what I do. You might be changing homes. Or you might be changing cars and then feeling limited in terms of your house. So you might be feeling like restricted at home in some sort of way. Maybe it's because you have responsibilities kind of holding you down in terms of your finances. or your career could be like. So you can't really, it's just very, you'll be very chatty this month. You might be like investigating other areas in your neighborhood as well, or this year, excuse me. Very private in the home. Might read a lot this at home this year when you are home. There's this another secrets card. And Jupiter. You're getting fired up about something, and something is growing. I think that there's some sort of secret that comes out about a lover or some sort of leisurely activity that you like to do, in terms of travel. There's information about higher thinking, higher learning, foreign travel, luck and abundance. There's some sort of secret trip or secret love, even. This is also gambling. So, again, with the gambling is coming in. You could also get a job working at a casino. That's coming through. I haven't gotten to your 10th house yet, but the snake is like the physical body as well. So this could be sports. This could be like getting excited about some kind of growing physical activity, growing passionate about a physical activity. However, I do have the Five of Pentacles here, which is like maybe you feel like you can't keep up with everybody. Like there's this kind of like weighing you down. Something is kind of throwing a pebble in your excitement house. You could feel like alone in terms of a partnership, because it's unrequited. I'm seeing that again. So those of you who are single and looking for a specific person, you might feel like you're having a lot of fun with this person, but maybe the relationship is blocked in some sort of way, and it's kind of it'll cause you to feel like a little bit alone and kind of be stuck up in your head. And don't let that fester. Just go with the flow, because Jupiter in the 5th with the snake's oracle card is very auspicious. It's investment and gambling going well. Just make sure that you don't give all that you have to something, moderation obviously, but give me 1 second. You might get lucky about some sort of creation some sort of artistic adventure or venture. And it could have to do with the five senses, an experience, a lucky experience. A change that causes some mental conflict within you, though, because there is some sort of, I mean, this is Leo here, so the Two of Cups is at home in this house. It's very, very homey. It's warm and happy in the fifth house. But for some reason, you're feeling like financially a little bit out of the loop, or mentally kind of unable to get yourself out of a rut in terms of partnering up with somebody. Just be careful if you are playing sports that you don't hurt yourself. Because that's the only thing I see that might be blocking some kind of partnership of some kind in there, in the fifth house. There's duality with the Two of Cups as well, but it's excitement, it's fun, it's sharing of love as well. So it could be at a new stage. You could be at a new stage with somebody, or you might want to go to the next stage with somebody in your romantic life, and you might be feeling a little blocked in that department. Or it could be that they're at a distance from you. And so it could be a long distance relationship as well. And you might not have the money, you might be feeling stuck about being able to get to them. But don't worry, there's some sort of information about traveling. You could be traveling somewhere for leisure that's more of a sports thing. If you are into sports, it's cold. It's also ice skating. It's ice skating. So you might go on a date with somebody and go ice skating. Could be a ways away from where you are, or could have been a long time since you've done this. It's gonna be good. It's a good house, so might be a little bit difficult to get back in the swing of it. Yeah, it's like riding a bike, right? Sixth house of the physical health, work day to day. It wouldn't surprise me if a lot of you are working with animals on a day-to-day basis. Whether you're walking dogs, whether you're a vet tech or a veterinarian, or you work at a shelter. I'm going to move the mic. Sorry guys if it makes any noise. I did get a new mic because people were saying they couldn't hear me. So I hope you can hear me. I hope it's not too loud. So the Queen of Pentacles is very nurturing. She is the Earth Mother of the Queens, and she knows how to manifest things in the material world from the resources around her. So you could be working on a farm, you could be working at a greenhouse, anything to do with the natural world and nurturing of the natural world and seeing the natural beauty of things in your day-to-day and your work. If you work with animals, big here, you have a talent for it. You have a very caring personality. Also, this is working in the beauty industry. So you could be working on developing some sort of cosmetic that doesn't treat animals badly. Because there's so many animals here. I keep hearing vegan and cruelty free. In terms of your health, more vegetables is the way we're going to go with this, because hidden familiars, allies in the natural world, I feel like getting more earthy, crunchy with the homeopathic is going to help your health. Coming at things from a balanced place. Seeing the value of balance in your life. Not letting stress bother you too much. You'll be able to juggle what you need to do and not let the chaos of the world around you kind of shape how you feel with your health. You'll be focused on kind of maintaining what you got, and that will be good for you. I see a blessing here, or some kind of talent as well. So if you're talented with anything to do with the natural world, animals, herbs, if you do any kind of health career of any kind, I see things working out very well for you and you being seen as somebody who is very talented at what you do. I also see your health being more beautifully expressed in the physical body. You might have cut something out in terms of what you were putting in your body that has caused you to glow up in some sort of regard. I think that this might be a clue, this house, in terms of your oracle animal cards, animal totems, because you're finding your purpose this year and discovering your self-worth and learning how to listen to your intuition and be navigated by what brings light into your life, right? So it seems like because your first animal card is the earthworm, right? The earthworms till the soil. They prepare it for new growth. So I feel like there's a tilling of what you've already had in your life. You're digging into it. You're getting your hands dirty in order to realize your potential and your passion for other things, or for your passions are your purpose. So you will find that this year. Your relationships of all kinds. Holy, oh, it's so cold. Can't even tell that the heat's on in here. All right. So you might have somebody in your life that might be in your family, of a familial relationship. That could be where the heartbreak and the Saturn came in, down in your 4th house. That is a little controlling with their communication style, and you might argue with them a little bit this year. I see things being able to be kind of talked about, and things being all right after that. But I see you looking to plan. You're like looking for romance as well. So you might be less focused on family this year, and that's aggravating with somebody in your family, because you've got yourself more kind of in a romantic kind of love of life type thing. The potentiality, your dreams for the future, seeing the potentiality of mysteries and falling in love with that. Also, that could be talking about what you're valuing in the 2nd house with that spooky stuff that we talked about earlier. The mysteries of life and your curiosity. You have a curiosity about you in terms of your relationships, about getting down to the potentiality of things, seeing where things are going in terms of either romance, or you might be considering or looking for attention as well from other people in your life. Being opposite the 1st house, we saw radical changes with your physical, how you're being represented by yourself in the world, right? How you're coming off to other people. It might seem like you're winning in terms of a lot of things, and whatever isn't working for you or that's been a pain in the back, you're cutting that out. And people are kind of, when we make big changes, sometimes people don't really get it. Somebody might want to control how you think about your place within the family, or a parent might also be kind of challenging your choices as an adult to make your own decisions. You might be thinking about communicating about starting a family, and the potentials of how to go about doing that. You might be looking to the cycles of the moon, literally within timing of that, or your own personal female cycles, and planning based on, what's going to be a good time to start. You will be seen as pretty flashy and admired by other people. You will also be seen as somebody who is a visionary, is a dreamer, is looking towards that pie in the sky kind of mentality. Somebody might want to kind of get you grounded because they think you need it. Maybe that if they think that you're too immature to think about this sort of thing so early. But I guess they just need to see how responsible and future forward that you are, and how serious you are about it. Here we go. Hecate's path in the 8th house. I'm really liking it. Alright. Yes. Oh, yes, hunty. Okay. All right. What's this? Mars. Mars in Scorpio. Mars in Scorpio. That's steamy energy. That's deep down, combustible. The emotions kind of fizzling out and the passion kind of moving in. There is a crossroads of some kind that you will be at in terms of your investments in your in the mysteries of life, and also your relation to other people's finances, if there's any kind of financial assistance, if there's any kind of debt, and any kind of shared resources. You'll be coming to a crossroads here. There will be a line that you will cross, whether that be for the good or the better. Hopefully the good or the better. Mars is about action. It's about driving force. You are Mars, Aries. You are very much ruled by Mars. He is a fiery sign of a guy, and he gets things going, and he gets things started, and he gets things at least started. He starts our year like you do. He is the guy that is red hot and ready to go. And I feel like it's almost as if you're ready to cross a finish line of some kind, or move into a new chapter that may be in shared resources as well. So you could be looking to move in with somebody. You could be looking to get a bank account for the first time with your partner. You could be looking for getting a house with somebody, signing the dotted line. There is some sort of coming together in terms of legally. Now, there is also a rise to admonition or admiration. It's a positive thing that's going on. So it's successful. And it's what you want. It's what you've brought into being. And it's also a blessing. It's like a new blessing. So if this doesn't have to do with like literally having a baby or starting a new romance, or there's something good that's propelling you to a leveling up. Hecate's path is about liminal spaces between, the line between this and that, and how fine that can be. One day we could be this, and then we can be that. It's also, the Lenormand card is the stork, and that's all about upward movement, progression. It can be travel as well. A lot of the time I see it as flying, by plane. But it is a positive, uplifting, upward kind of elevation. It's a rise in status as well, because it's other people. Other people are seeing you as victorious about some kind of leveling up and some kind of promotion. It's promotionary. So in terms of, if you had any tax debt, if you had any, shared credit card stuff, financial stuff with companies. I see you crossing a threshold and having a new beginning from it. And because you've kind of mastered your willpower to get this accomplished with the drive that you had from Mars, and that's your ruling planet. And here you go, kind of parading around being like, yes, I finally accomplished this, or I've made this leveling up. It's also the taboo. It's also the house of the occult and hidden things and dark things. And Hecate is the goddess of witchcraft. And so any kind of esoteric arts are going to be involved with the 8th house. Witchcraft, astrology, numerology, all that stuff is tarot is all in the 8th house. And it seems like you've crossed a line with it, and you're moving it. You have a gift, a blessing from the divine. So it's also a spiritual gift as well. So next to the Magician, this could be literally kind of manifesting some sort of new start for yourself, that other people see you as somebody who is leveling up, who is kind of an authority on the matter. So you could be being seen as somebody who's pretty knowledgeable about some kind of taboo topics or hidden kind of information, or you could be privy to things that other people are not. And you could be very passionate about those things. That could be a driving thing for you. So it also very well could be that you're having a baby, that you're going to be sharing intimacy with someone else and creating a new life within this year, because you have the Ace of Cups, which is like the blessing from the divine of a new emotional seed of some kind. And then you have the Stork, which is always represented, children, childbirth. And you're proud of what you accomplished, and you created this because you're the magician. You've utilized what was around you to manifest this for yourself. So this could literally be a child. And also Hecate's origins as the goddess of witches, she's really kind of, if you go far back enough, there's kind of a resemblance to Heket. And Heket was an Egyptian goddess, I believe, of fertility and abundance and children, of protector of children and women. So and kind of Hecate evolved out of that kind of concept. At least a lot of historians think that she did anyway, and or at least a lot of witches do. So there is this kind of crossing the finish line with something, or crossing a line in the sand and stepping into a whole new beginning, because you're passionate. Your passions have brought you there, and you're using what you know and what you have around you to manifest some sort of celebration of who you are and what you've done and what you can bring to the table. And other people are seeing you as somebody who is somebody of valor, somebody who has kind of done the work and accomplished something, and it's raising you up. It's bringing you to the next level. Okay. Ooh. Hollowed heart. North Node. All right. There is some sort of walking away from something that you've been good at. Something that you've, a talent that you've mastered, something you've been talented at, something that you've kind of refined. And it's the North Node is here, and it's your purpose, your destiny, where you're going in this world. And we have here, we talk about you finding your purpose, your destiny. And it seems like there's a vulnerability that's going to set in about where you're going in life and where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing. And that might require you to leave behind some sort of career, because we're not in the career house yet, but we're getting there. Some sort of you got good at living life a certain way or doing things a certain way, and you've really kind of had a flair to how you do things. But it seems like you go from being detail oriented about something to literally being like, but there's got to be more than this. Where is the more? I need something else. Something isn't feeling quite right. Even though it looks like I got everything down, I still don't feel quite satisfied emotionally with the situation. And so there will be great change after you finally do this, after you finally walk away from whatever you've been, very fixed on focusing on, and getting more in touch with maybe what you want to do, where you're going in your life. And then boom, you have some sort of spiritual awakening from this. And this might become to you from a trip. You might literally go on a trip and be recalibrated in some sort of way when you go, and it might change you at a core level in your life. It might make you see things in a totally different way. I also think that there is some sort of burden to you being so kind of focused on the details that you might have missed the happiness. There's something that here that Mars in Scorpio, where do we say that? I can't remember if the Tower is Mars in Scorpio or the Eight of Cups is Mars in Scorpio, but it doesn't really matter because they're both here and they're both next to each other. So there is some sort of connection to the 8th house and what we talked about just now before this house, the 9th house. There is some sort of line that you're crossing because there's been some sort of elevation of, you might be finally paying off a debt and then now you're able to travel more. You might be paying off a loan and now you're able to go back to school and travel to get an education at a distance. There's some sort of, just checking to see if it was still recording. There's some sort of finish line that you cross and you say you're done with something and you move on to something else, and it is you're feeling divinely guided. There is some sort of spiritual growth here between these two houses. This is the ghosts and spiritual spooks. house, and this is the I'm enlightened, I'm learning, I'm I'm out there in the world researching, gathering culture. This is about experiencing culture. You might be sick of something that you've become familiarized with, very, very familiarized with, and now you're emotionally looking for some excitement in terms of, um, you know, seeing what's out there. You may become enlightened to go to a spiritual place and feel very connected there. You might move there, you might take a trip there. There's some sort of, you're letting go of some type of way of being that you were before in order to pursue your destiny or your purpose. And it might come from having a spiritual kind of enlightenment, or an emotional enlightenment, emotional crises even. It can be like being emotionally fed up with how things have been. Just because everything looks pretty on paper doesn't mean it always is. And so you kind of level things. All of a sudden one night you might just become much more spiritual and much more cultured, and be trying new things. Might be more vulnerable. You might be feeling like taking a risk. Very psychic 10th house. Other people in your life are seeing you as very psychic. You might be working from home as a psychic. You might be doing some investigatory work, because I have Neptune and I have Virgo and I have Brigitte, which is about being psychic. So there's like this, you might be a private investigator for a career. This might be something that you're starting. There's some kind of investigatory, looking intimately into the details of something. This can be surgery as well. So maybe you are getting involved in the medical community in terms of surgery, getting deeper into things. There's buried treasure here. There's like kind of having an inkling about where the treasure is hidden, and there's a waiting. There's also a digging. So this is like kind of archaeology. This is, witchy herbalism. This is the King of Pentacles as well here, right? Yep, King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is, I just gotta make sure because I have so many decks out. Yes. Waiting to kind of see where all of your hard work is going, and then finally getting to sit and enjoy it because you've manifested material abundance in your life and you are the top dog. So, excuse me. So there is some sort of action being taken, an offer of love, but like an expressing of that. A love of plants. So if you work with plants at all, I think that the natural world, right? We said the natural world and work. So yes, I'm getting very heavy if you are into plants, if you are into animals, if you feel connected spiritually to nature, very, that's what gets you passionate about things. I also see Brigitte was like, also a witch, right? She's like the Celtic goddess. And Ireland's real green, right? And that's, I think Celtic, I think Ireland. I know it's a little bit bigger than just that. But she's also very connected to nature and collaborating with it in order to make magic in her life, right? Neptune is like that Piscean king, right? He's the one that rules the waters, the dark waters. He's the one that is about imagination and fanciful and spiritual thinking and spiritual experiences, really, and not very grounded or connected. But then there's this earth element, so there's like this magical earthy element to your 10th house. So if you're not working in a psychic kind of field, if you're not doing something that is in the entertainment business, in terms of like illusions, like magic tricks, anything to do with portraying some sort of magical scene. This is also scene work. So if you work behind the scenes on film sets, if you do anything that is like using your third eye creative skills to kind of take action and do something that you love, you have to be doing something that you love, it seems, with this, because Pisces is very lovey-dovey, right? But there's no boundaries to it. Neptune, I mean, there's no boundaries to Neptune. He's very wafty and all over the place, elusive, but everywhere. He's like here and everywhere all at the same time. Then we get to like the Seven of Pentacles, which is like, I'm focusing on the details. I'm trying to make sure that everything is being kind of taken care of all at the same time, but all in their own individual ways, to make sure that I have a good harvest, right? I have something to show for myself and all my hard work. And I'm trying to be patient about it, because I'm trying to see like when it's going to be the perfect timing, because I want it to be perfect. It's perfectionism, really. It's the trying to attain perfectionism, or waiting to attain perfectionism. And so there's like this period of waiting in between that's grounding you. There's a grounding of this etheric energy, right? And the King of Pentacles is a businessman. He's the entrepreneur. He is the one that calls the shots, because he's done the work, and now he can see all the systems, financial systems that he's had in place, all working in harmony together. And he rules his domain, right? He's the king of his domain. And now he's able to do more leisurely things and kind of go out of his comfort zone a little bit, and kind of take new steps in terms of career that he loves, that end up being very lucky. So there is some sort of lucky break here. There's this kind of, if it's not traveling for work and then you meet the love of your life or something, or some kind of new hobby that you love to do, you bump into it along the way, there is some sort of unforeseen like love expression or flirtation, or some sort of action being taken that you love, doing something that you love, expressing yourself in a new way that's very in line with who you are at an emotional level, and having that new seedling of just a new sprout of abundance. There's some sort of money that could come from this. If you do anything where you grow something and then sell things, or you are involved in the details of some sort of earth crunchy project with work, and getting that to a certain finesse or stage, there seems to be money involved. It's very lucky for you in your career. Friends, associations, your freedom. We already said you were a rebel, so let's do this. You might find yourself being a mentor to somebody younger than you. Somebody younger than you might be looking to you for friendship this year. There's some sort of self-expression that is coming from recharging your battery. So you might go away with a friend on a trip to someplace sunny. And this would probably happen, I mean, this is the house of Aquarius, but we'll be coming into Aquarius season in a couple months. Not even. Give me 1 second. There's some sort of like mentoring, teaching, sharing who you truly are with others, and that giving great blessings in your life that are tangible, physical, real. You could have a new friend this year that you meet that's either financially well-to-do, or you get a new friend and end up having some kind of connections with them that lead you to some sort of way of making a lot more money for yourself. This is also innovation. So you could invent something that has some kind of earth crunchiness to it. Another thing, plant life that's grown in the sun. There's lots of sun here. There's plants here. And you could be making money from that. The only thing I see that you might want to be careful about is jealousy within the friend group, because I have the snake here. You could have one friend that's kind of like a backstabber. Might be like really nice to your face and seem emotionally supportive, but yet they are slithering away and kind of, you know, looking a little bit green at the gills about your good fortune. Something is very positive happening for you in your associations, in your friend circle, and in your innovation. You also could be just being seen by other people as kind of popular because you're kind of out there and different in some sort of way this year, and you know, other people could be a little bit put off by that because they're stuck in the mud, or they're just a little bitter about something. I don't see anything too bad. I've got the sun twice. The sun is life force. There's going to be a great deal of sunshine coming in for you. And we have navigate by the sun. So let your friends help you this year, Aries. If you have a new friend and they say, oh, I've got this gig, do you want to try it out? Take it, because it will end up being something much better than what you're seeing it as now. There's a colony of bees here, right? And it says navigate by the sun. Let your friends bring light into your life. Let new people come in and bring light into your life. And anybody who gives you crap for having a good time and meeting new people, well, too bad for them. That was the north node, but this is the south node. Oh, I do that all the time. I'm getting blind. All right, so you are going away for sure from something having to do with a philosophy, a spiritual way of being. You might be changing religions this year. I see that you're going towards spirituality and going away from kind of it's more of a gnosis. You're feeling spiritually connected through your own means of practice, through your own kind of spiritual enlightenment, and not really focusing on religious beliefs or sects or divisions. There's some sort of, you might have been very focused on, the details and the rites of one type of religious practice, and now you are going in a totally different direction. Also, if you were very willy-nilly about your spiritual practice or your religion, you might be getting more serious and taking it more seriously this year. I do see that there's ancient amulets, fortune, protection, skills. Possessions, okay. If you have any enemies that are tricky and hidden, because I see the fox here in the 12th house, and the 12th house is the house of hidden enemies. You also have hidden friends, hidden allies on the opposite end. Some sort of animal medicine, if you're into that sort of thing, some sort of animal spirit guide might give you clues as to who this might be in your life. You might have somebody sneaky, especially with the snake that's close by the fox in the Lenormand cards. You might have a friend who's kind of like a hidden enemy, and you're gonna figure that out this year. It's also a very investigative. It's very Virgoan, the fox. It's investigating the situation. It's sleuth. It's spying on something. So you might be looking towards the past in order to get clear about where you want to go in the future and who you're bringing with you and who you want to collaborate on the journey of letting people in, deciding who you're going to let in on your ideas for the future and the path that you're taking, and who you're not going to let see. You might want to put up the guard of, oh, I'm having a hard time with, I don't want you to lie necessarily, but don't let everybody know when things are going real good, because see the fox, how he's like waltzing in, and the kid sees him and he's like, hey, there's something in the yard, but the parents are not looking. They're looking at what they've achieved emotionally, and their emotional attainment and their happy ending or whatever. But there's somebody here that wants to creep on into your happiness or take your happiness from you in some sort of way. And I see you being guarded about that. I see you being like, you've already fought a lot, you've already dealt with a lot of crap, but you're willing to get up and stand up for yourself and kick this, animal out of your yard type thing. So do it. If it comes up and you figure out somebody's no good for you, or you're, no good to negative energy in your life, not a positive influence on your life, or is talking crap about you behind your back, or being nice to your face, kick them to the curb, because you deserve better. And you're on your way to finding your purpose. You're growing. You are feeling and sensing what's around you, and where, being directed by your intuition in terms of where to go. And, follow the positivity. Follow what makes you feel good, makes you feel warm and tingly inside. That's where you're going to find your purpose. That's where you're going to find your people this year, Aries. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope you have a beautiful and uplifting 2023, and it's everything you wanted and more. And I will see you in January for your first month. All right, take care. Bye-bye.